In this video, you'll learn how to use sprints in ClickUp. We'll go from turning the feature on to choosing where you want to use it, and finally creating a sprint folder so you can start organizing your work in a sprint-based workflow. Follow along in your own workspace if you can, and feel free to pause as you go. First, you'll want to open the App Center from your global navigation. This is the main menu you see on the left-hand side of your ClickUp screen, sometimes called the left sidebar. Look for the section or icon that represents the App Center. It may appear as a grid or an apps icon depending on your version, but it will always be within that left sidebar area. Go ahead and click it to open the App Center. Once the App Center is open, you'll see a collection of apps and features that you can enable or manage for your workspace. In the search bar at the top of the App Center, type Sprints. As you type, ClickUp will filter the available apps and you should see the Sprints app appear in the list of results. Click on the Sprints option if needed to open its details. Next, you'll see a toggle that controls whether sprints are turned on or off. Find that toggle for sprints and switch it to the on position. When the toggle is on, the sprints feature becomes available for your workspace. If you ever need to turn it off again in the future, you can come back to this same place and toggle it off. But for now, make sure it's on so we can continue. After enabling sprints, you'll be asked to select which spaces should use them. Spaces in ClickUp are the higher level containers that hold your folders and lists. So this step is basically telling ClickUp where sprints should be available. You might have different spaces for different teams, departments, or projects. Take a moment to think about where you actually want to run sprints. For example, you might only want sprints in your product or development space, but not in operations or HR. Use the options provided to choose one or more spaces where sprints will be active. This helps keep things organized and avoids cluttering areas that don't need sprint functionality. Once you've selected the appropriate spaces, you're ready to create a sprint folder. Navigate to the space where you enabled sprints. On the left-hand side, find that space in your hierarchy. You have two ways to create your sprint folder here. The first way is to right-click the space name. When you do, a context menu will appear. In that menu, look for the option labeled Sprint Folder and click it. This will create a sprint-ready folder inside that space. If you prefer, you can also click the plus icon, usually shown as a small plus next to the space or in the area where you add new folders. When you click that plus icon, you'll see options for what you can create. Choose Sprint Folder from that list. Again, this will create a special folder set up for managing your sprints. Once the sprint folder is created, you'll be ready to start building out your sprint lists, adding tasks, and organizing your work according to your sprint cycles. That's all you need to get the sprints feature turned on in ClickUp. Assign it to the right spaces, and create your first sprint folder so you can begin working in a more structured sprint-based way.